super gusty. I woke up this morning when I walked outside, all of our things in the backyard were just like scattered.
So that person lives in Northeast Portland's Cully neighborhood. They, along with so many others, experienced the high wind this morning that knocked out power to thousands throughout the metro area. Thank you for joining us here on KGW News at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. What you see here is Portland General Electric's outage map. There are smaller outages all over the map, but really out Highway 26 past Sandy, heading out toward Mount Hood in particular, is an area that's dealing with a lot of outages. And take a look at this video out of Southeast Portland. You can see some fallen tree branches, a tree across that road there, downed electrical wires too. This was shot this morning. Up on Mount Hood, Timberline Lodge and several other businesses were without power for part of the morning, but were able to get things back up and running. At this point, Portland General Electric is making progress. It is dealing with about 30 outages with over 600 customers affected. At the outage's peak, PGE says over 11,000 customers were without power. We've talked about the wind, seen the downed trees, but have also reached out to PGE to get confirmation on the cause of the outages and a time frame for when power will be restored. We'll get back to you when we know. For now, let's get to meteorologist Chris McGinnis. Chris, what's the wind looking like right now?
It is beginning to ease, so we've got that going for us, right? But yes, it was powerful earlier this morning. And in fact, it's still gusting pretty hard out in the Columbia River Gorge. Crown Point takes the crown, if you will, with the 84-mile-an-hour wind gust early this morning. Corbett near the post office there, 80 miles an hour with that wind gust. Even on the west side of town, though, check this out. Highway 26 at OR 217 at the interchange with 217. ODOT's got a sensor there. That clocked in with 47 miles an hour. So even the West Hills felt some of that really gusty east wind. Glen Jackson Bridge, 45 miles an hour, same story at Camas. And PDX had a wind gust of 37 miles an hour earlier this morning. Now, as we look at the current wind situation here, the wind is easing in town. It's still pretty gusty through the Columbia River Gorge, but it's not as gusty as it was earlier this morning. We can thank that big swirling low pressure offshore, and the difference between high pressure over the inland northwest and the low winds typically blow from high to low. So that's why we were seeing those intense winds. The low's getting closer, the pressure gradient is easing, and those winds should ease and continue to ease through the day as the rain moves in. We've got some light rain overhead, not raining at the airport, but raining on the west side of town. We've got some showers out over Washington County. Right now it's 49 degrees at PDX, east-southeast breeze at 9. And the plan for the rest of the day, clouds with occasional showers and a lighter east breeze, and temperatures not going very far, generally right around or just shy of 50 degrees. Christine?
Thank you so much, Chris. Another thing we are keeping tabs on, the contagious illness making its way through Portland's Old Town neighborhood. As Blair Best reports, it appears homeless people are among those most at risk.
For people living on the streets of Old Town, staying clean is a full-time job.
It is pretty overwhelming. You gotta juggle all that, you know.
We just hope to God that we either have wipes.
And now more than ever. Late last week, the Multnomah County Health Department issued this public health warning after increased cases of an illness called Shagel were found in Old Town, including among those living outside and in shelters.
I got it. It was awful.
It spreads through fecal matter. Symptoms include fever and vomiting and can last 3 to 10 days.
I spent Christmas at Providence Hospital. This is not a game, right?
Michael found out he had Shagel after checking himself into a detox facility.
Then when I went to Flora Health, I couldn't hold any food down. It's gross, but soiled my clothes. It's disgusting, right? To the point where they weren't medically equipped for it.
They sent him to the hospital.
And I spent December 20th through Christmas on an IV antibiotic, right? 8 hours at a time. I couldn't even leave my room because it's that contagious, right?
County health officials say Shagel spreads very easily. Even a small amount is enough to make someone sick. So if you live or work in Old Town, wash your hands often and remove shoes before going inside your home or tent.
Or even just sharing a cigarette with someone that you don't know, right? Yeah. Sharing a vaporizer pen, if it has fecal matter on it and you ingest that, you get that infection, right?
And Michael's not alone. We found others sick with similar symptoms.
Side effects, fever, fatigue, vomit.
I was just puking and just going to the bathroom.
It is tough for folks outside when there's not access to clean bathrooms.
Now, one way homeless people try and stay clean out here is by going to the Behavioral Health Resource Center. Here off the corner of Northwest 5th and Gleason is a white van where they hand out tickets for people to use the hygiene services there.
Go over there so you can have a healthy place to kick it for a second.
It's a service many are now coming to rely on.
Take a shower, try to get new socks, keep myself cleansed as possible.
Now, if you think you have Shigella, you're going to want to get tested, and you can do that by going to a local clinic. In Northwest Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
So Multnomah County health officials have confirmed 45 cases of Shigella. We'll have the latest information about the different ways the disease can spread coming up on KGW News at 4 o'clock. But in the meantime, health officials say the general public should not be worried. Now to an update about a deadly crash that killed a family of 4 from Troutdale on their way to Central Oregon. Deschutes County jail records indicate the driver, Jesse Ross from Corvallis, has been charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. Police say Ross crossed the center line on Highway 97 and hit the Rutledge family's SUV head-on back in October. Ross also faces charges of reckless driving and DUII. Neighbors told KGW the family was on their way to see the annular eclipse. 5 traffic-related deaths over 3 days in Portland. So far, 66 people have died on city streets, making this year the deadliest on Portland roads in 3 decades. The latest happened last night when a car hit and killed a pedestrian on Southeast 122nd Avenue near Southeast Market. That hit and run comes after a string of deadly crashes on Christmas Day. One also at Southeast 122nd off Powell, a single car crash on Southwest Barber and Taylor's Ferry, and a hit and run on Southeast Stark and 106th. A 5th crash involving one car happened Christmas Eve in North Portland. Police say the 18-year-old driver is now facing charges that include manslaughter and DUII after her 18-year-old passenger was killed.
We continue to see speeding and impairment as the 2 main reasons for fatalities in our streets.
Police say speed was a factor in all 3 deadly crashes on Christmas Day. And breaking nationally this noon, Tom Smothers, known for his comedic and musical performances with his brother, has died at 86 years old. His family says he died yesterday after a fight with cancer. The Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour debuted in 1967 as a satirical music and sketch comedy show. The brothers were known for speaking out against racism, the Vietnam War, and censorship. The show was canceled in 1969 because network execs disapproved of the show's content. The new year is less than a week away, and for some, it'll mean shelling out more money for certain things. Here are a couple places where you'll be paying more. Let's start with the Oregon DMV. A new or renewed driver's license, driving tests, license plates, among other things, will cost more money. State lawmakers passed a bill this year allowing the price hike to help the DMV avoid reducing services. You can check out a full breakdown of what will cost you more next year and how much on KGW.com. And TriMet prices are also going up in the new year. This is the first time the agency has raised its rates in more than a decade. TriMet says the increase is due to higher operating costs. You can see the breakdown for adults on your screen. It should be popping up here shortly. If not, I'll just tell you, 2.5-hour tickets will go up by 30 cents, while all-day passes will go up by 60 cents. Monthly passes will stay the same. Head to trimet.org to see other fares that are also going up. Okay, we're done for now. Enough with the higher price tags, right? Here is some news that could save you a little money. This week, the Oregon Humane Society is waiving adoption fees. That applies to all adult dogs 1 year and older at the Portland or Salem locations. What a cutie pie there. The Humane Society has about 100 dogs and puppies looking for a home right now. In Portland, you have to make an appointment to adopt, but in Salem, walk-ins are okay. The promotion lasts through Sunday.